Okay, so my video cut out for a second there, but it's back, so it's great. So like I said, I am here today looking lovely because I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects on planet Earth, which is sex. And I figured, why not be sexy if I'm going to talk about sex? You know, let's go ahead. I love a theme, you know what I mean? So sex is very sacred to me. It's very important to me because it's sacred to me. And I wanted to get into like character, get into my vampire queen energy, since that's the energy I'm working with this year. And I want to talk about how sex is literally like a garden and a gardener, and how a lot of times when there's things, when I think about sex, I think about the woman being the garden and I think about the man being the gardener. The garden doesn't move. The garden doesn't get up and leave. The garden doesn't explore. The garden just brings things in. It brings in pollen, seeds, anything that's flying around, bugs. It doesn't matter. The garden is going to do what the hell the garden is going to do, but the garden is in one spot. Now, the gardener is the one that needs to be skilled. The gardener is the one that needs to study the land. The gardener is going to be the one that can see like a infertile. I say infertile with like air quotes because it's like, I truly believe that nature communicates with humans. And I think that if land is not fertile, it is not comfortable with the gardener. That's the way I see it, like actual gardening and actual land here on Earth. That's the way I see it, is that the garden or the land is straight up not feeling the gardener at all. So when it's not fertile land, I'm like, yeah, it's probably either land that is not being treated like it's sacred, or it's just land that's just straight up not effing with whoever's trying to till it. And when I see like problems in relationships, couples and things like that, I always kind of use this analogy, like the garden and the gardener, like, as the gardener, young man, what are you doing or what are you not doing? Because you have this land in front of you. You have this garden in front of you, and she needs to be treated a certain way to bear the fruit that you want to see. If you treat her with neglect and abuse, whatever fruit she bears, it's going to be a product of that mistreatment. But if you treat her with respect and love and kindness and being attentive, the fruit that she bears is going to be so miraculous. So I always think about the garden and the gardener because that's the way I see sex. I think about myself and how I see myself literally as a very lavish garden. I know that people say, I'm so selective, I'm so picky, I'm so stuck up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I just can't trust any gardener that walks by. So I think about the garden and the gardener, and I'm like, look, dude, these gardeners out here, they haven't earned their stripes. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They can't take care of the land. It kind of ties into that video that I had about like the Vision Quest on my S. Banksta channel, because again, people are out of touch with nature. And when you're out of touch with nature, I don't even understand how you can connect with other human beings. I literally don't know how. I don't know how. But that's just my personal view, you know, like a lot of my views are a little sideways, but that's why I make these videos, because how do I know my videos are sideways? Is it my videos that are sideways, or is it just not enough people thinking the same way that like I do, you know? So again, to me, it really goes back to just the garden and the gardener. The gardener has to take care of his land, straight up, period. I don't know why a gardener is trying to have a garden at all if he has no intentions of taking the utmost care of it. And I think that's the problem that exists between men and women today. Like, yes, this world is patriarchal. Okay, I understand it. But overall, this land is just full of people that don't know how to garden. They don't know how to garden. And if you're a gardener and you freaking, or a farmer, if you're a gardener or a farmer, you understand seasons. And if you understand seasons, you understand nature. And if you understand nature, you understand women. I am a woman. Like a true woman. I am chaotic. I am unpredictable. I am not like a man. I can't stay the same. I can only be how I am depending on how I'm being treated, how I'm being tilled, and and all of that. So I just think that people, again, like I was saying before, they say I'm stuck up. They say I am super like bougie is a word that they use. And I'm just like, you just have no standards. And you'll accept any gardener. And you don't have good fruit bearing from your garden. That's the only difference. That's the only thing. I want my fruit to be strong and healthy. I want my fruit to be glorious. I want my garden to be glorious, lavish. Gardeners should want to spend time in my garden. Right? That's the way it should be. They should want to relax in my garden. And then in my season, when it's not time for me to be bearing fruit, they have to do whatever they have to do in that time. That's not gardening time. That's not going and reaping the fruits or reaping the benefits time. It's just not. It's my time to recalibrate, to get my land back together, to make sure that I'm in order for gardening season again, for when the gardener comes back and it's warm and it's time to work together, you know? Oh, I love sex so much. It's literally my favorite thing on earth that can be done with the body. Literally, besides eating. And I love eating. Oh, I love food so much. It's not even a joke. The act of eating all by itself is orgasmic to me. So anyway, this topic is not about food. I can make a totally different video about that. It's about sex and why there's like no sacredness left. There's no sacredness in sex. There's like porn all over the place. These men have seeds. They're natural born gardeners. But then the men are not careful with their seeds. They shoot their seeds anywhere. And then when it's time, when they come face to face with a fertile garden, they don't know how to manage that land. They don't know how to manage their own seed. And there's none left by the time it gets to the actual garden that is actually going to bear fruit that can nourish him. There's nothing left because he gave all of his seeds away to anything. He just gave it away. He gave it away. He didn't save it. And so I know we live in this day and age where it's just like, yeah, free everything. Everything is just free. You can do whatever you want. Like there's no rules. There's no kickbacks, drawbacks. Everything is just anything goes. I know we live in a land like that, and it's really sad because I don't see things that way, and it's really difficult for me to integrate. I don't integrate because people aren't living human lives. People aren't living lives that are connected with nature. And I'm connected with nature. I give a damn about nature. The things that work with us, not the society that was constructed with all these rules and things like that. So sex is one of the most natural things, if not the most natural thing on earth. And it's not treated with like the way nature is treated. This kind of ties into the video that I was making about the Vision Quest on my S. Banksta channel. If you spent time in nature, you would understand how nature operates. Nature has seasons. Nature has times of growth and times of death. And sex is like no different. And people just see it as something to watch on. It's really sad that they take the sacredness out of that act when it's so beautiful and so magical and you can literally travel to different dimensions. And it's just so mistreated and so abused that it's like, look, I can only worry about me in my garden and my temple. My temple has leaves of ivy, vines of ivy going all throughout it. It has treasure in it. My garden is not everybody's invited to my garden. It's exclusive around here. Super exclusive. And I just know that women, they just offer up themselves, they offer up their land to any old person that just walks by, and it's like, have you done your research? Do you know if this person has what it takes to manage your land? Like, you would trust him to farm your land? Like, do you know if he what's his track record? Like, does he kill plants? Do his plants die? Does his seed survive? These are questions that I don't know. It seems like so big when I'm saying it out loud to people who don't think like that. It's not that big of a deal to me. This is the way I think, and I know what sex is to me. It's really important. It's make or break. Like, it can literally ruin a relationship for me if it's not good, if it's not treated like it's sacred. Sex can't be, the way I see it, I have my seasons. I have my ups, I have my downs. I have the time when it's time to work with my gardener, and then I have my time when the gardener needs to get ghost and he needs to go find something else to do, because it's not planting time, it's not fruit bearing time. You know what I mean? This is how I describe myself. The love that I can give to a man is natural love, not motherly love, not romantic love, not anything. I can give him natural love, and my love, it's hardcore. It's not easy at all. It'll turn you into a man if you're not already a man. Like, it's not a joke, because it's natural. It is chaotic. There's storms, there's tidal waves, there's hurricanes, tornadoes. That's what my love looks like. And so it's really funny to me. The gardener understands these cycles. The gardener is experienced, and the gardener knows that he plays his role in whatever sprouts out of the garden. We live in a day and age where men are not accountable, or they don't hold themselves accountable for their actions. And we really need men that are men in society. We need men that are men, not, like I said in my Ask Banksta channel, not boys who are growing up into man bodies. We need men who understand nature so that they can understand women. Because when women are understood, and it's not even understanding like on the mental level and like why women think the way they do and why women do the way they do, because there's really no understanding. We don't know why one day the rain pours heavier than the last day. We don't know why. We really don't know why. That's just nature. And you have to roll with the punches of nature. And men are not equipped today to deal with that, because again, women are not treating themselves as sacred gardens, and so there's no accountability. There's nothing forcing these men to learn skills. There's nothing forcing these men to learn the lay of the land, you know, like to know how to bring back the damn vision quest, please, so that there's more peace and harmony in society. Please bring back the damn vision quest. When I talk about myself, I'm either referring to myself as a temple or as a garden. And some people don't understand that, and they get really creeped out by that. And I just be like, okay, it's not for you. You literally don't have what it takes to take me on. And I don't make it easy for these boys out here. I don't make it easy. Why would I? If I make it easy, it's like I'm giving up my fertile land to a gardener that doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't have the capacity to plant strong seeds in my land. He doesn't have what it takes. I'm only taking the best gardener who's skilled, who understands seasons, who knows when to plant and when to reap, who understands life and who understands death. That's the only gardeners I want to deal with. And I'm really inspired to make this video because I'm just feeling so in love, because I have really good gardeners in my life right now. I hope that this is making sense, as weird as it probably sounds to whoever's watching it. I hope that it makes sense. So I didn't want to make the video too long. I wanted to talk about one of my favorite subjects on planet Earth. It's not just the subject of just like, it's just the different ways that you can express yourself and really like come to life, you know, and then die right after. that. I love that. You can leave your comments below if you feel where I'm coming from. I mean, does anyone feel where I'm coming from? Does anyone understand why I can't understand why people just, they swipe on somebody, see them, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna have sex with them. Like, how do you come to that conclusion? How? Don't you need time? Don't you need to watch the gardener work to make sure that he has a style of bearing fruit, that he has a style of planting his seeds that bears fruit, and not just any old kind of fruit, like fruit that's actually edible, fruit that's actually nourishing, you know? Again, I want to talk about sex, the garden, and the gardener. Women are gardens, men are gardeners. That's the way I see it. I think that it's very natural, supernatural, and the metaphysics of it are misunderstood because it's so abused. It's not treated like it's something sacred. So again, I just really wanted to talk about this because it's so relevant. It's gardening. I just feel like if men, at least, I know they're not going to go through their vision quest and things like that, like I mentioned on my other channel. That is something that literally has to be reintroduced to society so that people can latch on and learn how to be connected again. But if little boys, at least, like, just grew up knowing, like, having to take care of a plant and being responsible for that plant, I have a feeling that they would really understand women more. Because I'm talking about a garden in this sense and a gardener, but really, what about earth and people, you know? What about earth? I think that people kind of underestimate the power of just feminine energy in general, because again, this is like a very masculine and patriarchal society that we live in. I say this all the time. And we're unaware of how to treat the earth that we live on as a garden, as sacred. Man, it reminds me of a Tracy Chapman song called The Rape of the World. That literally, oh, that is such a good song. That really plays in here, because it's just like, how could we stand aside and watch the rape of the world? How can we do it? This is mother of us all, you know? I just had to get that off my chest. I wanted to make the video because again, I'm in the mood, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling really loved. And I don't always feel like this, you know? Sometimes I'm just like, I'm in death mode. I'm dead right now. I'm not alive right now, so it's not time for this right now, you know? Sometimes it's like that. And I just think that sex in general is really mistreated and mishandled. And it would be, first of all, more pleasurable if the actual care and attentiveness was put into it the way it should be, as opposed to, oh, what if my gardeners just hit me up just now? Anyway, yeah, I really love sex. I love the topic of sex. I love to talk about it, but not in the way that's like masturbating or anything like that. I just really love the realness, the rawness. I understand life and I understand death. And I understand alive and I understand dead. Like, that's just it. And when you bring up sex, it's such like, it's so risky because it's like death and life all wrapped up into one experience. And that's why it's just so amazing to me. And I can't believe that it's not looked at that way by everyone. And I feel like if it was looked at that way, we wouldn't have so much frivolousness. We wouldn't have seeds that are running this earth crazy as hell, because the gardener knew what the hell he was doing before he planted the seeds, you know? Don't you see? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and post my ad now for my services, like I do, well, like I'm starting to do in my videos. I'll go ahead and post it right here and, like, you know, cover the video up. Definitely reach out to me. You have my contact information, my Google Voice number, which is my business number, and my website. My prices literally on like a consultation basis. So you'll have to go ahead and just hit me up. What the hell do you want? Do you want a natal chart? I'm really getting into synastry now. I'm not offering synastry charts as a service, not right now, but that's gonna be like in my arsenal because I'm getting good at it. Like I've been doing synastry charts just for my own personal use, but I've been killing these natal charts. The feedback I get is amazing. So I've been killing it on the natal charts. Anyway, it is late and I have a date. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for that. It's only 6:41, it's not that late, but it's getting like cloudy and stuff, like it's gonna rain. So I have to get ready and I have to go because I'm gonna have some fun. And if you enjoyed the video, please say so in a comment. I never ask for likes. I never ask anyone to subscribe because again, I like people to do what the hell they want to do. I like free will all the way around here. There's no manipulation, there's no coercion. If something drives you to subscribe to my channel, do that shit. The only thing I ask for is commentary because I literally love talking to people and getting their perspective on things when they have a perspective, not something that they heard and they're just like resharing because they heard it from someone else. I love a person that thinks for themselves. I'm obsessed with that. I love that. So if you're one of those people, leave your comments. If you agree with me, tell me. If you disagree with me, tell me. I love that. Tell me. I don't care. I just want to know that you have a brain on you, you know? So if you watched to the end, thank you so much. This was one of my favorite, this is my favorite video to make. I love this topic and I can't get into the nitty-gritty and talk about sex the way I really want to talk about it, but this is YouTube and there are limitations. So if you watch to the end, again, thank you so much. I'm hoping to see you in my next video and subscribe at your will. Just hit me up if you're looking for any of my services. Again, tarot card readings. I do sexual tarot card readings too for you and that special someone in your life. And I channel that energy. And yeah, thank you if you watched to the end and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.